What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another WNBA video. Now, we only have one game on the slate to dive into for Thursday, July 31st, but we're going to break down and analyze that game. We're going to talk about which way that I'm leaning as far as the points of the spread, and then when it's all said and done, make sure you check down there into the pinned comment. You'll find a link down there that's going to send you over to the Guy Boston Sports website. That's where you're going to find all of my final plays for this game listed for free. Now, typically right here, we jump right over there to the website. We break down our plays from the day before and see what we took and how that ended up going down. But those games are live at the time of recording, so we will recap those games along with whatever plays we take here in this one in our next video. So let's not waste any more time, guys. Smash that like button for me down there if you can, and hit subscribe if you have not already. Let's jump into the mix. 7:30 p.m. tip-off time for this one is going to be the Golden State Valkyries taking on the Washington Mystics. Mystics 2.5-point favorites, and that total opened up 157.5. It is down to 153.5. Golden State, they've won 2 of 3 since the break now. They come into this one fresh off of a thriller. It was a 2-point win over the Dream. Zana Lassini hitting a go-ahead bucket with 3 seconds to play in that one. Valkyries, they are sitting at 12 and 13 on the year, 15 and 10 to the number, but we can't let that exciting win make us forget the fact that on the season, they really haven't played well on the road consistently. They've gone just 4 and 9 straight up, 6 and 7 against the spread. This is still the same team that lost to the Sun by 31 their last time out, right prior to this last game. The same team that's lost 4 of their last 6. So can't put the blinders on after one good win here. The Mystics, on the other hand, they have played better on the year when they're at home. They're sitting at 13 and 13 on the year, both straight up and against the spread. At home, they've gone 7 and 7 to the number, but they have won 9 of those 14 games outright. They're coming in off of a 17-point win over Chicago, in which they put up 103 points. They shot 51% from the field, 42% from deep. And Sony with the career high 28 points in that one on a scorching 5 of 6 from deep, 10 of 15 overall from the field. And this will be the second head-to-head between these two, the first coming way back in late May, the Valkyries' second game in franchise history, and it resulted in their first win as well, a close 76-74 2-point victory. Now, we've seen a lot of games between then and now, the rotations are slightly different as well, so let's look at each of these teams over their last 5 games, dive into some more numbers. While both these teams aren't blowing us away offensively, we see the Mystics putting up 82 points per game to just 72 per outing from Golden State. The Valkyries are putting up the most threes per game across the W, but they're hitting at just 33%. That's only ninth in the league. Overall from the field, they're shooting just under 38%. That is second from last. The Mystics are hitting at a 45% rate from the field, fourth in the W, and they sit at third for three-point shooting percentage, hitting at 37%. But keep in mind with that, they are attempting the fewest threes per game. Now, both teams are struggling with turnovers. The Valkyries second for last for turnovers, Washington third from last, but Golden State has been forcing the second fewest turnovers per game. The Mystics are coming in at sixth in that regard. Both these teams are rebounding the ball well, though. The Valkyries are giving up the fewest offensive rebounds per game, Washington the fewest defensive. Now, this one, in my opinion, is going to come down to the paint, man, and if the Valkyries can stop the Mystics down low, and then from there, then one of these two get going from the outside. Right, Washington did win the battle on the glass, outscored Golden State in the paint that first time around. And then on the year, Washington sits at third for points scored from the paint, second over their last 5. But the Valkyries have allowed the fewest points inside on the year and over their last 5. On the perimeter, though, the Mystics are giving up the third fewest three-pointers per game, while the Valkyries are allowing the most made threes. The Mystics are just 4 and 6 against the spread when made a favorite, but they have gone 7 and 3 straight up in those games. And while the Valkyries have covered at a pretty good rate this season, that number does dip on the road, as we've mentioned already. And take into consideration, they've been made double-digit dogs a good bit as well this season. As single-digit road dogs, they are just 4 and 6 against the spread. I don't really, I don't want to lay points with the Mystics right now, but I also don't want to put my money against them at home either right now. I think that they're the right side on this one, so I would be leaning towards just taking them on the money line. And for the total, these two, they've been under teams on the year. Washington has hit to the under in 14 of their 26 games, the Valkyries in 16 of their 25. They landed at 150 and hit under in their first head-to-head meeting, but we've seen the Mystics land over this specific number in 4 of their last 5. Golden State has hit over this number in 3 of their last 5. Now, Golden State does play at the slowest pace in the W, and the Mystics are just middle of the pack, and both of them lean into their defenses over their offenses, but I just can't get there with the under in this one, man. Something is telling me that despite all of that, this number is just too low, and we see them get just up and over it. We take an under at this 153.5, and they land right at 154. Man, you know what I mean? That's how I feel about this one. That the lower that number gets, the more that we got to start looking at an over here. So I would be leaning over in this one, but I like the side a lot more than I like the total in this game here, guys. That is going to wrap us up. Not seeing any player props on the board for this game with a really, a ton of value. So not going to force anything here with just the one game on the slate. So that is going to wrap it up, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video today. I hope you found the content helpful and useful. And if you did, please do not forget to smash that like button on your way out. Hit subscribe if you have not already. And that's going to wrap us up, man. Hope you guys all cash out. Hope you guys all have a great night. And I'm going to see you back tomorrow for the next one.